Condoleezza Rice was America's National Security Advisor in 2001 and Secretary of State under George W. Bush. So she's got a lot of experience with spreading democracy all over the world. In 2014, when all this upheaval was first happening in Ukraine, she openly admitted how the US wanted Europe to stop buying Russian natural gas and buy American natural gas instead.
But now we need to have tougher sanctions, and I'm afraid at some point this is going to probably have to involve oil and gas. The Russian economy is vulnerable. 80% of Russian exports are in oil, gas, and minerals. People say, well, the Europeans will run out of energy. Well, the Russians will run out of cash before the Europeans run out of energy. And I understand that it's uncomfortable to have an effect on business ties in this way. But this is one of the few instruments that we have. Over the long run, you simply want to change the structure of energy dependence. You want to depend more on the North American energy platform, the tremendous bounty of oil and gas that we're finding in North America. You want to have pipelines that don't go through Ukraine and Russia.
So the US was involved in the 2014 Ukraine revolution, and here we have America's National Security Advisor admitting that we know Russia's economy is dependent on natural gas, and that we want to change the structure of energy dependence in Europe. To have Europe depend more on the American energy platform. That you want to have pipelines that don't go through Ukraine and Russia. Oh, interesting. There is not a pipeline that goes through Ukraine and Russia anymore.
You simply want to change the structure of energy dependence. You want to have pipelines that don't go through Ukraine and Russia.
But it doesn't stop there. This is Victoria Nuland. She is also very well versed in the art of spreading democracy across the globe. She had power during the invasion of Afghanistan. She was a key player in the war on Iraq. She personally made the call to overthrow the Libyan government in 2011. Coups, proxy wars, aggression, ongoing occupations are all a part of her stellar resume. And you want to know what she said before Russia invaded Ukraine?
If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
It was like she was taking notes when Condoleezza Rice was talking. And as we mentioned earlier, the day after Nord Stream was sabotaged, a new pipeline called the Baltic Pipe was unveiled. This pipeline is not Russian and doesn't carry Russian natural gas. Instead, it was built by Norway, Poland, and Denmark starting back in 2013 and runs through around the same area as the Nord Stream pipelines did. On top of that, it was even finished a month ahead of schedule. Very convenient indeed. This means that Norway, Poland, and Denmark are getting the economic power that Russia once had. Even the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, said after the pipeline was destroyed that this was a huge victory for the US, even though it was absolutely something the US did not do. Quote, "It's a tremendous opportunity to once and for all remove the dependence on Russian energy and thus take away from Vladimir Putin the weaponization of energy as a means of advancing his imperial designs." End quote.